up, guys? Boy, Benny. There are some upsides to having a president with dementia. Let's go ahead and look here. Signs of dementia: memory loss, difficulty doing familiar things, confusion, finding the right words, poor judgment, personality changes. Man, does that ever describe Joe Biden? You ever seen a speech where Joe Biden suddenly starts screaming in the middle of a speech? Poor judgment is also one of those interesting little things that happens to Joe Biden. Like when Joe Biden was asked about his election strategy in 2020, he said what Democrats were planning on doing to win the election.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Okay, so, I mean, again, a major benefit of having somebody who has full-blown dementia as president is that he just straight up says the things that they're doing. He can't even lie anymore. You can't even lie convincingly. We're putting together the greatest voter fraud organization the world's ever seen, Joe Biden says. Well, bravo for telling the truth there, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden is now going to California in order to hoover up hundreds of millions of dollars for his campaign chest from some of the worst predators on earth. And, well, they find common ground with Joe Biden. Lots of sniffing going on in Hollywood these days, and Joe Biden is heading right there in order to sniff up as much cash as he possibly can. Joe Biden is doing the little thing that presidents do where they're walking out to the helicopter on the South Lawn, and he takes a question or two from the press. Now, here's where the poor judgment comes in, because Joe Biden's heading to California. California is run by a guy named Gavin Newsom, who is licking his chops and drooling, waiting to run for president and turn all of America into California. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden was asked directly, are you going to California to cement Plan B when Gavin Newsom runs for president? That's what he was asked. Straight up. You can hear it in the clip. What is Joe Biden's response? Here, ladies and gentlemen, is where the dementia sets in. Reporters hounding Biden about Gavin Newsom being Plan B in 2024 to replace him, and Joe goes full Mr. Magoo. Here we go. Have a listen.
Going to California, is about coming up with a Plan B for 2024? Does Gavin need to stand by?
Do you hear that? Okay, again, let's set up the question. You're going to California. Is Gavin Newsom Plan B for Trump in 2024? Should Gavin Newsom stand by?
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm looking at you. We're looking at you.
Are you ready? Joe Biden says. Did Joe Biden just confirm that that's the plan? Is Joe Biden's dementia totally and completely blowing right out of his mouth the answer to that simple question? Are you ready for Gavin Newsom 2024? Joe Biden says. Are you ready for them to replace me?
Hey, whoa. What I came to tell you was, I told you we'd be announcing sanctions on Russia. We'll have a major package announced on Friday. I'll be happy to sit with you all when doing that, okay? Oh, I don't care.
And then Joe Biden confirms it. Now, let me, it's hard to hear because they always do these with the helicopter roaring in the background. They actually do this by design. I know plenty of people who've worked in the White House. They do it so that the reporters can't really get their questions in. The president can say, I didn't hear you, right? If he doesn't like the question. But what the guy asks, and you'll hear it hopefully pretty clearly here, this is ripped directly from the live feed of Joe Biden answering this, is the guy says, would you rather Haley or Trump? And Biden goes, okay. He doesn't care because he's not going to be the one running.
Oh, I don't care.
There you go. So,
all right, so following.
That's the full live shot. This is the full live shot. Joe Biden being asked, is Gavin Newsom replacing you? Is that why you're going to California? And Joe Biden says, yep, you ready? Okay. That's what Joe says. And then when asked about potentially running against the two Republicans, Nikki Haley's not a Republican. Nikki Haley, of course, won't be the Republican nominee. But when asked about the two Republicans running for president, he goes, I don't care. When was the last time he approached the question of Donald Trump like that? Every time that Donald Trump is brought up for Joe Biden, he gets all taut in the face and his teeth, they grit together. and he gets all angry and gets all bitter. He never expresses that kind of passivity to Donald Trump. This is Joe Biden saying, I'm not going to be president anymore. I really believe it. Amazing. And he's done this, of course, before. He says this, he does this kind of stuff all the time. We've put together the greatest voter fraud organization in the history of the world. Hard to argue, actually, Joe. Joe Biden then proceeded to go to Air Force One, the short stairs, not the long stairs, and to literally trip and nearly fall directly on his face while going up the stairs. Incredible. Thus further reinforcing the fact that he cannot be president. He's just not physically capable of being president. So what are some of the smartest people in media saying about this potential? Doing the old switcheroo? Well, Joe Rogan is saying, ladies and gentlemen, I know it. It's going to be Gavin Newsom. They're going to swap Biden for Newsom.
I think that that's a ruse.
What
that him running for president. I think
you don't think he's going to run?
No. I think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to move him out. They're going to force him to step down. That's what I think. If I had to guess, and it's just speculation, I'd say they're setting up Gavin Newsom for it. That's what I say. That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me. I think they more and more comes out about this stuff, and more comes out about the Burisma thing.
Yeah. And so they're going to do the old swaparoo, says Joe Rogan. Multiple people are also speculating that they're going to switch out Joe Biden. Jon Stewart, somebody who is effectively like a Democrat, full-on Democrat, like core propagandist, is saying Joe Biden cannot be president. I was not counting on this from Jon Stewart. He's not to be praised for this. This is simply messaging from the inside of the party. Joe Rogan has multiple times predicted that Biden's criminal bribery schemes will be used to oust him as the nominee. And so what does Gavin Newsom have to say about this? Well, Gavin Newsom, of course, plays the good little boy and repeats the line. Biden-Harris administration, a masterclass in terms of performance. Gavin Newsom also saying that it's Kamala Harris who's ready to be president next. Well, this is interesting. Could it be like a Kamala Harris-Gavin Newsom ticket? Have a listen.
Filing deadlines haven't passed. President Biden doesn't run. Why shouldn't we consider you a likely candidate?
Well, I think the vice president is naturally the one lined up, and the filing deadlines are quickly coming to pass. And I think we need to move past this notion that he's not going to run. President Biden is going to run, and looking forward to getting him reelected. I think there's been so much wallowing in the last few months and hand-wringing in this respect. But we're gearing up for the campaign. We're looking forward to it.
But you hear these calls privately. What do you tell these donors who are wallowing in this?
Time to move on. Let's go.
And am I supposed to interpret that comment about the vice president that if for some reason the president chose not to run at this point,
well, that's
everybody rallies around her?
It's the Biden-Harris administration. Maybe I'm a
You
little
respect
old-fashioned.
that. Yeah,
Maybe I'm a little old-fashioned about presidents and vice presidents. I was a lieutenant governor, so I'm a little subjective.
Yeah. Gavin said straight up, and during the interview, that Kamala is the one lined up to run. And Kamala Harris has said herself that she is very ready to take over the responsibility of the job of being president. Like gloatingly, cacklingly, gigglingly. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to moments like this. Gavin Newsom was completely run over by Ron DeSantis in a debate. And Gavin Newsom is such a creepy, slithery little lizard person, man. Oh, man. This guy just, this guy scares me a bit. He does, indeed. I mean, he is such a truly duplicitous member of the political class. Such a gross, grotesque cretin. But he was wrecked by the poop map during a debate with Ron DeSantis a couple of months ago. And it's really, really a good hit here.
At total time, Governor DeSantis about 2 minutes.
He needs it.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing is covered, because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags.
Yeah. Good hit. I mean, honestly, good hit. Well done. The future's bright. whatever the future is, it's not Joe Biden. Biden is going to California. He's going to beg hat in hand for money. Many people, smart people, are saying that they're going to do the old switcheroo at the convention. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep our eyes out. Clips like this obviously show us that Joe Biden, full-blown dementia, Joe Biden straight up saying it. With the stupid aviators and everything. Joe Biden just, look at how they have him straight out of central casting. How they have him walk up with the stupid aviators. Yep. Hey, is Gavin Newsom going to replace you? Yup, he says. You ready? That's Joe Biden's answer. So, much like the voter fraud thing, we're just going to take him at his word. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for more truth and more just us paying attention and doing pattern recognition. That's all it is. See ya.